Today I'm going to be talking about how to find and correct double counted expenses. To start out, we have the bank feed, and we're going to code these two transactions. And we're going to code them just like you usually do. So this one, it's Tina's Nursery, and we always code Tina's Nursery to bank materials, and this green even says, whenever there's a green suggestion, that means this is QuickBooks guess on what this transaction should be coded as, and it's green when it recognizes that it's been coded here before. So we're going to go ahead and add this one. And then for Bob's Burgers, this is going to be meals, so we're going to add it to meals. And we're going to add this one. So then whenever we come to the bank register, we are going to see our Bob's Burgers meals coded here. And then we're also going to see the Tina's Nursery's ones coded here. Whenever you look in the bank feed, we always want to look for stale transactions. These are transactions that have not been cleared or coded or reconciled. So these four up here are the ones that we are concerned about. For this example, we're most concerned about the Bob's Burgers one. So we look at Bob's Burgers and we kind of notice, okay, that's on the exact same day that we already have a Bob's Burgers. Could this be a duplicate, or did we have two separate transactions? So for this one, I can tell that this is two separate transactions. We've verified with the bank account. It only cleared once at $18.97. What we see common is whenever a client will enter an expense. So they'll go in here and they'll enter this expense, and they usually attach a receipt. So they bought a meal and it cost them $15.97, but what they forget to do is factor in the tip. The meal plus the tip is what actually comes to the bank account. So if they don't add the tip to the expense, then this expense is not going to match when it comes to the bank account. So what we can do is we can just edit their expense to make it match what came through the bank account. So whenever we do that, we see it shows up here as a transaction that's not coded, but it also still showing up down here as a transaction that coded. So we're still double counting this entry. So what we need to do now is we need to delete the transaction that actually came through the bank account. And deleting stuff in the bank account can be scary, but if you delete it out of the bank register, it's just going to kick it back to the bank feed to be categorized again. So now we're back in the bank feed and we see how it popped up again, and it's matching to our expense that was entered. So we're going to match it. And then now whenever we go look in the bank register, we're only going to see the one transaction for Bob's Burgers. So another way we can look for double counting entries is whenever we look at the transactions that have been reconciled and the ones that have actually cleared the bank account. So we can tell that this bank account has been reconciled through 9/24/2024. So in theory, all the transactions before 9/24 should have this little R beside them. That means they've been reconciled. And anything after that should have this C that says it's just been coded. So going through here, this is the last transaction we see on 9/24, but if we go up, we see that there's one on 9/18/2024. So this one should be coded. So that kind of tells me, okay, there's a problem with this one, and it's a possibility that this one is a double count, or maybe there's just another issue with it and it didn't get coded correctly. So how you can tell if it's double counted is we can search this amount in this bank account. So we're going to search 82.45, and in doing so, we see there's two transactions that pop up. They're both on the exact same day, they're both to the same person, and they're both to the same account. This little green box means it has actually came through the bank account, and then if there's not a green box, that means it didn't come through the bank account. So this tells me that this is probably a double counted entry. What probably happened is this transaction came through the bank account and we coded it, but then maybe the client came behind us and they entered their own expense with a receipt attached to it. In order to fix this one in particular, we're going to first have to unreconcile this one. And we can do this by just clicking on that little R, and then it goes blank, and we're going to save that. And if we delete the one that actually came through the bank account, it's going to kick it back to the bank account or the bank feed. So if we go back to the bank feed, we see it come back here and it's matching to our expense now. So then we can match it. So now only one of these is showing up. So since this one had been reconciled, we can reconcile it again. And we can just go here and we can click the C until it turns to an R, and that means it's reconciled. And that is how you look for and correct double counted expenses. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe and check out our other videos.